right, so we've gotten a lot of new books into the library, so I wanted to do a video to update you all with some of the new books in the library. So the first one is When the Ground Was Hard. And this one is about a 16-year-old girl who is going to a boarding school in the heart of Swaziland in South Africa, I think it is. But I thought that this last paragraph here kind of summed it up. It said, in this absorbing, poignant coming-of-age tale set in a time and place where life is disposable if you're not white, two colored girls break all the rules on race, class, and gender to bravely become more themselves. So kind of about these girls in this boarding school trying to fit in and trying to make it. So When the Ground is Hard, a good diverse read if you're into reading about diversity. The next book is by the author of The 11th Plague. This one's been a really popular book in our library. So it's called Unnatural Disasters, and this is actually one that I got in last year. That was a new book last year. But it is the class of 2049, so it's set in the future. And basically, humans have pretty much destroyed the world. So the world is teetering on the brink of disaster. And so Lucy and all of her friends are gonna go to prom, and then they're gonna ditch graduation and go on an epic road trip. But everyone's phones start to ring halfway through prom, and there's been some kind of disaster. So it's a survival, adventure, apocalyptic type of book. The next one is The Revolution of Bertie Randolph. This one is about a girl in Chicago, and she is really just trying to make her parents proud. She decides to quit soccer so she can focus on school, even though she loves soccer, and she just wants to get really good grades and just be a really good daughter for her parents. But she falls in love with a boy who's kind of a boy with a bad history, and she knows her parents are not going to approve of this boy. And then her aunt kind of pops back up into the picture, and come to find out her aunt has struggled for decades with substance abuse. And so this is another kind of not so great influence in her life. And so Bertie is really trying to struggle with finding out who she is. She starts to find out some family secrets that involve her aunt. So The Revolution of Bertie Randolph. The Absence of Sparrows. This one, when I was reading reviews, when I was thinking about buying it, said that this book was super creepy. So it said it was a very scary, kind of terrifying type of book. But it's about a plague that turns people into glass. And so it's set in a small town, and 11-year-old Ben Cameron is bird watching and hanging out with his family when he starts to notice that people turn into glass statues. So they can't figure out a way to stop it. They don't know what's causing it or why people are turning into glass statues. So kind of a good mystery thriller. The next one is a pretty popular author, Pete Hotman. It's a pretty short read. It's a little over 200 pages, but it is set in 2074. It says, in the year 2074, French fries are illegal, football has been banned, and running isn't just for your health anymore. So basically, the United States is now called the United Safer States of America. And they've gotten rid of all of these things like violent sports. You can't consume alcohol, you can't own guns, chainsaws, large dogs, you can't have body piercings, you can't have tattoos, because the United States is safe now. And so the main character kind of goes along with this society and doesn't think there's anything wrong with it until he gets in trouble for a road rage incident, and he gets sentenced to a hard labor camp in Canada. And so then he starts to question the society. So kind of a dystopian thriller type of book. Angry Young Man. This one is a really short book. It's about 170 pages. It's by Chris Lynch, who is a really good guy author. A lot of guys really enjoy his books. But this is about a boy who kind of feels like he just doesn't fit in. He's kind of a loner, he's kind of sensitive. His older brother is the one that's kind of always been the standout guy in their family. But his older brother starts to fall into some bad situations and make some bad decisions. He starts to become radicalized, and his younger brother is kind of worried that his older brother is turning into a terrorist. So kind of a question of what is the angry young man going to do in this book. The next one, When We Were Lost. I don't know, I might have to steal this one off the new shelves and read this one first. I think this one looks good. This one reminds me a lot of The Lord of the Flies, if you've ever heard of that book. But it's about this kid named Tom. He doesn't want to go on this stupid school trip, but he has to go on this stupid school trip. And then the plane crashes in the middle of a jungle. Of course, all the teachers die. I don't know why. Why do all the teachers have to die in plane crashes all the time? Anyway, all the teachers die, and then the teenagers have to try and survive. So they kind of turn into this mob mentality. You know, kids are trying to fight for power and kind of start to turn on each other as they're trying to survive after this plane crash. All right, and then the last one here, Doughboys. Doughboys I thought looked interesting. I'm just gonna read you the inside cover here. I think they sum it up pretty good. It's about Deontay Simp Wright, and for Deontay, being a doughboy means freedom. It means money for rent, food, and clothes. It means getting his family to a better place. With Raleigh as his partner, being a doughboy means Simp has a future. For Raleigh Matthews, being a doughboy means being stuck. It means putting everything and everyone he cares about at risk, basketball, family, and his upcoming band audition. But not being a doughboy means abandoning his best friend. How do you decide between saving yourself and staying loyal, especially when the pressure is mounting, especially when you're lying to everyone you love? How do you decide how far you're willing to go for friendship? So they have gotten into kind of this bad situation, doing some errands for some people who are into some bad things in their neighborhood, but they make good money doing it. So kind of the ups and downs and pros and cons, and what are they going to do? Are they going to keep doing this? They could possibly get in trouble. You never know. So if you are interested in any of these books, but you ever don't see them on the new book display in the library, they're probably checked out, you will want to put them on hold. So come talk to me at the counter if you don't see them, to put them on hold, and then you'll get them when they come in next.